when I think of a rainmaking attorney, I think someone that's great at networking, that's generating cases, that's business development, and you have one reel on how to go from 0 to 50 referral sources, and because it's easier said than done, and you break down networking, DMing, and sharing fees. So maybe if you could speak on each of those, on how to develop referrals through those three pillars.
Yeah, sure. So, and it's funny you brought that one up. Like that, most of my followers until this last video are all attorneys, right? And so I, you know, over time, I've been an attorney now for going on 7.5 years, and so I've come to learn that the people that are, success. Everyone has their own definition of success, but in my opinion, in my definition of success, right, that are successful, they're either like really great trial attorneys, or that and they just fly all over the country and they get called in, and they just go and have awesome results and awesome jury verdicts, right? Or they're attorneys that just can bring in business, right? Because you're irreplaceable if you can do that, or you can kind of go anywhere you want, right? Because that's you don't trial attorneys don't have a case if there's no case to be brought in. And so, I go to conferences to meet other attorneys, and I'm lucky in the sense that I live in a vacation state, right? I'm licensed in the Carolinas, and people vacation here from all over the country. And so I sell myself to these other attorneys at conferences of, if you ever have any problems or issues, or even if you just need help on your case, give me a shout. I'm here to help you, right? And if you want to refer me a case, going to the last part of that reel, I can share fees in North and South Carolina. And so I'm real big on protecting other attorneys' interests and making it worth their while. And, I kind of joke around that I send them mailbox money. And I forget where that saying came from, but I obviously, did not think of it. And, so I guess maybe it's from like real estate, you have a
Yeah,
bunch of
that's
homes and you're
exactly
getting mailbox money from the Bigger Pockets podcast, right?
dead
Um,
on.
and so I think that's where I heard it. And so I even have that in my profile. So when other attorneys see it, it's like, hey, send me some cases. I'll send you money in the mail. So that's kind of where that reel came from. And I can't take all the credit. My wife actually, I was like, hey, I want to use this trending audio. And I'm like, what can I do with this? And she's like, talk about your referral business. So, I got to give her credit and a little shout out for that.
Incredibly smart. And when I was doing the guest prep too, I liked how you did clips of you either sending referrals out to other attorneys or you receiving, a compensation, and it made it more real.
Yeah.
I think. And when I saw the mailbox money at first, I immediately went to real estate, Bigger Pockets podcast, syndicates, whether it's, your Grant Cardone type of stuff. And I thought, oh, well, that's exactly right. That's what it is. And that's like living the dream in terms of that passive.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, so you've built this net. Well, let's talk specifically the DMing. I think that's kind of
Yeah.
interesting. So how does the DMing work? Now, I personally, transparently, if you see a ton of, so I've got a bunch of fluff followers, right? I do
Yeah.
on my Instagram, just being transparent. I haven't got the save engagement, but I built many of them through DMing.
Yeah.
So, and it's like it's a play. I think you're capped at around 40. I've had another expert help me build a following, and I've seen my engagement, my views. You can see my views on like Reels have just jumped significantly because of that. But you're DMing for this networking perspective, which I think is super smart. So
Yeah.
how does that work? How is that working for networking?
Yeah, so I mean, again, because I follow a lot of lawyers, the algorithm, I guess, sends me other lawyers' content, right? And, or the people that I already do follow, I'll go in their comments and maybe there'll be a lawyer or two in there that I don't follow or doesn't follow me, so then I'll start following them. And I know they say don't do the follow for follow, like for like, stuff. But in our business, most lawyers aren't following you and then unfollowing you, right? To build up their follower count and keep their following count low, right? And so I'll do that, and then I'll strike up a conversation with them. I'll watch, I'll go through a bunch of their videos on their page or their photos if they don't do reels, and just kind of see what they're about. And then I just start, casually talking to them. I'll find something that I, have a like with, and even if it's they post something about their favorite football team, I'll, joke with them and say, hey, the Pittsburgh Steelers are trash, and then I'm a Ravens fan, because I'm originally from Maryland. So that's just an easy in, and then we start talking about the law, and then it's just kind of being social and I guess kind and authentic.
Yeah, so for example, if you were a Cubs fan, you'd be telling me that the Cardinals are trash due to my hat that I'm wearing. Of course, yeah,
and
I like
it. So I'm an Orioles fan, and all the Yankees and Boston Red Sox people, needle me because the Orioles, we're kind of on the fray this year, but traditionally we stink, and that's okay. But I don't have any hate toward any National League teams.
Nice. So let's talk about so you're talking about you're building these network, you're asking referrals, you're putting it out there with the mailbox money. I love all of that, driving awareness. How do you maintain the relationships? How do you are you using? I know many of the law firms we work with have. I think Litify has like a referral, some software that works with referrals. I haven't actually seen it myself, but I've heard about how powerful it is. Like, how are you managing? Okay, so let's talk about that briefly. How does that work? Is it just if you get a random case, let's say like immigration or patent law or something, can you monetize those? Does it help you monetize those, or are those kind of dead money if you don't have like a true connection? How does it work?
Sure. So, I mean, to maintain, I think it's a two-pronged question, and that to maintain the relationships, I mean, I'll end up getting the lawyers or the marketing people, I'll end up getting their numbers outside of the platform, like in the DMs, like, hey, here's my personal cell, right? I mean, my personal cell and contact info is in my profile, but it seems like nobody ever clicks that stuff, or I'm just not famous enough to, people care, right? So I'll give them my number, and we just continue that way, right? And it's just, it's kind of, Instagram is a little bit of an echo chamber. When you get friends on there, everyone comments back and forth on their own stuff, and I guess it's probably subconsciously because you want to help your friends out and help, trick the algorithm to grow their stuff and everything. But I genuinely just keep talking with these people. I mean, I post stories daily, right? And so we engage with stories, right? Because it's about your daily life and things outside of the law. And so that's how I maintain relationships. And then I need to get into having a better CRM software. Now I just have a big Excel spreadsheet, and then I send people gifts and stuff like that over the holidays and what have you. And one trick I learned is send them a gift not during Christmas, right? Because it just gets lost in all the other gifts they get. Send it to them like 4th of July, and then don't send them anything in Christmas because they're not going to realize, because they're getting hundreds of gifts anyway. So that's a good tip to like kind of stay at forefront, because who thinks that to get a July 4th present, right? Like,
right.
You'll be the only person on that lawyer's desk. If you send them, a gift basket or a card, whatever, guarantee you'll be the only one that sends them something. So things like that I do. But then when it comes to kind of merging it to Litify, when you sign up for Litify, you select the areas of practice that you work, right? So I didn't select immigration law, going to your original question. So I never get immigration law leads, right? No one ever sends them to me because I won't show up. When you go to refer out a case, you have to select what kind of case it is. And so I wouldn't show up on that referral portal because I'm not an immigration attorney. And
Got
so it helps weed out, people that way.